Hi, everybody. It's episode 509 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. I am Chris. With me is Droo.
Hello.
And Walnut.
I'm here.
Definitely didn't realize it was the 14th today, even though I typed this earlier.
Yep, it's the 14th.
It's weird that it's already halfway through May.
Yep.
I mean, it's not. Jace, get out of there. It's not weird. That's how time works as it goes forward.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's still April.
I know what you mean.
Like, it does not feel like I was on vacation a month ago.
Yeah.
But you know why? Here's why. I'll tell you why in just a second, because I'm looking for something else on somebody's stream to yell at them with. Here, we'll just do the Pornhub thing instead of yelling with T-Rex. Here's why. April showers bring May flowers.
Did we get a lot of showers in April?
No, we've seen nothing but rain in May.
Or, like, the threat of rain. Like, there have been quite a few days where, like, the weather said it was going to rain all day. And then, like, maybe it didn't rain at all. Maybe it rained a little bit.
Yeah. Like, we got some rain. We got some water in May or in April. Like, I believe I went to my niece's soccer game, it was raining. And, like, we got some rain. But I feel like it's been every day to every other day we've had cloudy skies and rain. I'm pretty sure the carnival, which is right down the street from my house, was canceled at least for 2 or 3 days because of rain.
Seems about right.
And then last week we had like 3 out of the 4 seasons in that week alone.
Yeah.
It was in the 90s one day. It was in the 50s 2 days later.
Yeah.
Like it started in spring, then went to summer real quick, then went right back to fall.
Yeah.
There was one day where I woke up in the morning, I went outside. This is, 5:45, 6 o'clock. Sky's blue, pleasant day. By the time I'm leaving, about 20 minutes later, the sky is just gray and dreary. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I couldn't mow my lawn last weekend not this past weekend, the weekend before, because it rained all weekend. I found a 3-hour period on Saturday morning that I was able to mow the lawn before it started to get rainy, and it was cold, and it was great. It was a great day to mow the lawn, let me tell you. It was honestly the best day to mow the lawn. Was Saturday.
Those are always the best ones, where it's actually kind of cold out.
Mm-hmm. Because you got to bundle up when you're mowing the lawn anyway. You got to wear long sleeves and pants.
Why?
So if you're like weed whacking, things getting kicked up.
I don't. I just hope for the best.
I wear long. I'm also, my yard is a lot more unkempt in a sense than yours is, so I deal with a lot more like having to go into weeding stuff, whereas your yard isn't as like rugged. I like it rugged. My yard is rugged. That's what it is. It's not it's rugged.
The worst we have is like the fence line particularly on the outside. Like that can only get weed whacked. It's all weeds. It's just garbage. So I take it down to the dirt. And there's a lot of rocks and stuff like that in there that do get kicked up. And I generally have to just do it with my face pointed away from it. Otherwise, I'm going to get something like shot into my face and eye. I've gotten hit by stuff a few times and like gone inside afterwards and seen like blood running down my leg. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
I guess that hit me harder than I realized.
I was weed whacking and something kicked up and hit me in the face, right under the nose, and I was bleeding. So I'm like, yeah, these long sleeves and long pants don't really help, do they? But they do, because my legs and arms weren't bleeding. It was my face. I also had one instance. I have this like tendency of keeping my mouth wide agape when I'm mowing the lawn, and I'm weed whacking, and stuff will occasionally flick up directly into my mouth. Had that happen 2 or 3 times.
Well, that's why you don't walk around with your mouth open, buddy.
I can't help it.
Pro tip: keep your mouth shut when you're doing yard work.
No. Honestly, I might have to start wearing like a respirator mask, not like the heavy, just like a normal like mask that you would. Not even necessarily medical, but like the ones you would wear for painting and stuff, because allergies,
like the blue ones, basically.
Yeah, allergies are kicking my ass anymore, and so I might need to start wearing that when mowing them.
So for what it's worth, I have tried that. It doesn't help. Like the pollen and the stuff still gets into you. It gets in through your eyes and pores, I guess, and life finds a way, is what I'm trying to say. The best thing that I found is about 20 minutes before I go out, I take an Allegra D 12 hour, specifically Allegra D 12 hour. 24-hour does shit. And then as soon as I'm done, I take a shower. I'm not a fan of like a hot shower. I'm definitely like a lukewarm shower type of person, but I definitely take a hotter shower after this to get all that like steam built up in your nose, so that when you're done, you can just like blow all of the garbage out.
Makes sense.
And like as long as I kind of follow that regimen, I can get through doing like the hour or so of yard work without fucking dying the rest of the day. I also use a nasal spray every day.
I do nasal spray. I take Singulair daily, and I was at the doctor last week, and I was telling him I don't think the Singulair's working. He's like, take that, but also take a Claritin every day for the next couple of weeks. I'm like, 2 allergy medicines? 2 one-day allergy medicines? Like, yeah, it's that bad anymore. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. All right. What if I just take the Claritin and not the Singulair?
Yeah,
Like,
so I take fluticasone propionate nasal spray, USP 50 mcg per spray, glucorticide, allergy symptom reliever nasal spray, allergy relief. It's CVS brand.
Yeah, it's generic Flonase.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never looked at what the other thing on the shelf next to it was. This was just what like an urgent care doctor told me to get. Because we talked about before, I would always get sinus infections from basically from allergies. Like my allergy would be bad, it would turn into a cold, and then that would turn into a sinus infection. And like 5 or 6 years ago, one of all the people in urgent care, doctors like, yeah, start taking a nasal spray when you have allergies. That will probably stop happening. And holy shit, it stopped happening.
Yeah, I take just a generic saline spray. I don't do like Flonase.
Yeah, I do the actual allergy. Like my allergies are fucking bad, so I do that. And when I was little, I took Claritin, but it stopped working for me. Like I don't know whether it was just my body got used to it or whatnot. But I've been taking Allegra D for probably like 20 plus years at this point, and it works without having any like weird side effects. The worst thing that happens with that is if I take it after like 6 o'clock, there must be caffeine or something in it that like it does keep me awake a little bit. But other than that, like it keeps the allergies away.
Nice.
Yeah, fuck allergies. Just
Getting old, man.
Just burn all the trees to the ground.
I'm getting old, man. We're old.
We need the trees, though. Eventually,
we don't.
We do. They make the oxygen.
We need the trees. We just don't need their sperm. So, like, is there any way we can just make them all female trees?
Yeah, look, they have they make watermelons and cucumbers without seeds. Why can't they just make trees without pollen?
Hypoallergenic trees, man. That's all we need.
Exactly. But yeah, man, it has nothing to do with getting old. I have had allergies like this since I was a child.
I didn't get allergies. I never had allergies. Well, actually, no, that's probably false. It's just it never was nasally congestion allergies. This is going to sound weird, but every year during the springish and fall, my hands would peel very bad. And it was always like, oh, they're dry. You're dry. No, it was actually an allergy response. So it would peel to the point of pain. They would hurt sometimes. And dermatologists once told me, just stop taking hot showers and you'll be fine. It took until a few years after I was on allergy medicine and my hands would stop peeling that I realized, well, maybe this was a seasonal allergy and not fucking I take too hot of a shower and my skin's dry.
Yeah, that's doctors for you.
Yeah.
That is doctors for you. Anyway, Drew, I heard you went to another concert. Who did you go see?
I went to 2 concerts last week.
No, you can only talk about one. Only one of them happened. Which one?
Then I'll talk about the one on Friday where I saw Sweet Pill and Catbite, and it was amazing. It was real good.
Where was that at?
Union Transfer.
Okay, that's a good place.
Yeah, so Sweet Pill and Catbite, both from Philly. There were also 3 other openers. The show definitely went on a pretty straight upward trajectory of how good the bands were, in my opinion. Let me see if I can find the names of the first 2. So first band was Broke Body. They were okay, not great, but not terrible. I've seen worse openers at shows. Then there was Have a Good Season. They were pretty good. Equipment was really good, and then Catbite and Sweet Pill were amazing.
Nice. And then you saw Say Anything, or was that
longer
ago?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so what was the other one this week?
Hawthorne Heights.
Oh, right. You went to the tour. Yeah. How was that?
It was good.
How was City Winery for that?
Interesting. With how like kind of scaled down versions of the songs they were playing, it seemed like it fit more than them playing the full like bombastic versions of the songs.
Right.
These were definitely like retooled versions. They've put out the versions of Nikki FM and Ohio is for Lovers on like streaming services.
Well, weren't those also on like old Punk Goes Acoustic?
No, I mean, these
releases?
are brand new recordings because they weren't.
Okay.
I guess they really weren't playing like acoustic, but they were playing, like kind of definitely toned down versions of.
Was it kind of like the Newfound Glory one last year?
Kinda, yeah, pretty similar.
Okay.
There was an opener for that. They were called Bike Routes. Although actually it was just the lead singer. He was very amusing when he was on stage because he was like, between every song, he made sure to say his name and the band name because they were like, but the band told me to make sure I say it every single time. And just he had fun banter with being like, it's really weird playing in front of all of you people eating food and whatnot. And they're actually from South Jersey, and they're playing at Tunes in Voorhees on Saturday.
Wait, Tunes is still open?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if I already wasn't going to the Ren Fair on Saturday, I would go. But
we're going to see Sum 41.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be fun. I've actually never seen them before. And it's their final tour. So
yeah, me either.
And the Interrupters are opening who I like.
Nice.
Yeah, stuff. That's cool that the I totally forgot that Hawthorne Heights one was happening though. Those guys tour so fucking much.
Yeah, and I'll be back in Philly in 2 months.
I know. I got tickets for that one. Mostly because the name of the tour is 20 Years of Tears, and I think that's fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like them and Armor for Sleep and Anne Berlin and 2 other bands.
Mm-hmm. And that Philly show wasn't announced until the day after the show that I went to.
Yeah, that there was one other spot that they added a date to that tour that didn't have one already.
Yeah, I forget which one. But so I had done the VIP for this, and during the like meet and greet Q&A section, someone asked a question about bands that hadn't been announced for Ohio is for Lovers yet, and JT was talking about why they couldn't say who the other bands were, which was because they have tour dates in that area around that time, so they can't announce it till X time, as so to not cannibalize ticket sales, which is why they didn't announce the Philly show until after the City Winery show.
That, you know what, that makes some amount of sense.
And like he said, just watch social media tomorrow. And that's when they posted it.
I hope at some point they do the Is for Lovers Fest in this area.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, me too. Like they haven't even done it up in like Asbury Park, which like I figured like there or Philly would be a prime spot for it.
Yeah, I mean, like of course they have to do the one in Ohio, but
yeah.
The other places they've done are so random.
I mean, yeah. I don't think they can do Philadelphia is for lovers when Philadelphia is a city of love. So it's like Philadelphia is for love, not lovers. Come on now.
Well, it's a city of brotherly love. Come on now.
It's got Love Park. Like, it's all about love. You can't do lovers. You got to do love.
Well, then they can do New Jersey, the Garden State.
New Jersey is not about love. Come on now.
But Asbury Park is.
That's New York.
Asbury Park is south enough.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd actually, so to be fair, I'd actually probably be bummed if it was all the way out in Asbury Park because that is a fucking hike. Like,
kind of, yeah.
It's a long drive for like an all-day thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't like. I don't want to, but like, I don't mind driving to like Atlantic City and back for something like that. But like Asbury Park, that's like a 2-hour drive each way.
Asbury Park's only like 20 more minutes than driving to Atlantic City.
Is it? I feel like it took
Yeah.
us like 2 hours to get there, and when we went,
It's like an hour 20, hour and a half, maybe.
it felt like so much longer.
It's because you're not used to the route.
I mean, that's
Whereas,
fair.
like, you know what it feels like to drive to Atlantic City.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it is one of those you drive north for quite a ways. Like driving from where we are north, you're passing where I would normally stop because you go past Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Because who the fuck goes past Hamilton? And then you go east until you basically hit the ocean.
Yep.
And that's that's far.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. You're right. It's about an hour and 18 minutes to get to the Stone Pony right now.
Yeah, like it just feels longer because you're not like seeing familiar landmarks to yourself. So
yeah, it seems further away too. Like
and
when you look
like,
at a map.
Yeah. And that drive goes through like nothing. Like a lot of that drive you see just trees.
Yeah, I mean that is true. But like they could absolutely do they could do a stop at the Skyline stage.
Yeah.
It's fuck the one in Camden.
Agreed.
That place sucks. We did end up because of the $25 concert week thing. We did end up grabbing tickets for it's AFI and 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
Mostly for AFI.
Mm-hmm.
And actually they actually had seats in the $25 price range.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were also going to try and get the Avril Lavigne tickets for Simple Plan, but the only $25 ones they had were the lawn. And
interesting.
Yeah. So it must have just come down to like how much interest there was for the show already.
Yeah, most likely.
Because like it wasn't like close seats, obviously. It was, but like we're in the, let's call it the 100 section of seats, but like in the far back corners.
Still.
So like it's almost the 200 section, but like still not bad.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And if it rains, we're inside.
Mm-hmm.
And also just not on that shitty lawn.
Yep.
All right. Well, Rich, what else is on the agenda for this week?
On the agenda, we all watched Catch Me If You Can, the Leo DiCaprio movie about Frank Abagnale. Droo played some Hades 2 on
Balatro.
Balatro. And Cobb, you went and saw Gundam Seed Freedom, the movie. And that's about it. I didn't do anything because
you did jack shit, you bum.
Look, I'm getting surgery in 2 days. I've just been
excuses.
I spent all day Saturday like cooking and doing prep work for surgery, and I'm still not done. I was out all day Sunday, and I'm off tomorrow, and I'm doing more cooking, cleaning, and prep work for surgery as well. I've still so much to do to get ready because the surgery was originally supposed to be sometime in mid-June, and then they called me 2 weeks ago and said, "Hey, we had a cancellation. Do you want to come in on May 16th? I'll make it work." And so that's.
Is it like an outpatient thing? Like you go and get it done and you're home the same day?
It should be. I mean, they're fusing bones, so who knows how long it's actually going to take. Reading online, the procedure generally takes about 2 to 3 hours or so, but they might want to keep me there to do like for pain management and other things like that. So I mean, I should be home on Thursday, but who knows? But
are they taking the screws out too?
They're taking the bolt. Yeah, they're only one leg right now, but they're taking the bolt out of the leg, and then they're fusing the bones to remove my left and right movement on my ankle. Which should help with pain, which should basically stop the pain that I've been getting, the random pain from. Basically, the way I think I understand it, I'll occasionally just twist my ankle by just standing still. Essentially, and it due to the rubbing and everything that's going on, not having joint in my ankle, it's causing more and more issues. There's I believe he said like he can see some bone fragments and fractures and whatnot down there. It's bad.
Sure sounds unpleasant.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the time it's not that bad. I probably sit around on average 2 to 3 on the pain scale. But then there's occasions where it'll pop up to like a 5 or a 6 or a 10. Like I remember Christmas, because I was going to be out all day, I took Chase for a walk, and I can barely walk. Generally, I can barely do more than half a mile before I start to feel pain. And with this, I was about half a mile, and I stepped down flat onto a flat surface, and I feel that excruciating pain. And like usually, like I feel it, and I can limp through it for a few steps, and it starts to recover. This hurt so bad to the point where I had to actually take a seat, and I almost had to call my sister to come pick us up. So yeah.
Which, you know what? Like, good on you for being able to deal with like being on your feet all day at like New York Comic Con like 2 years ago.
And remember the first day we were there, I was wearing shitty shoes.
Right, because you did go back up the next day too. I forgot about that.
I went the next day with different pair of shoes. And like, I mean, if I get momentum, it's not that bad. And with the brace, it doesn't get that bad. But it is just like it is a constant pain that I feel that like I think it's just I've gotten used to it, or I have a very high pain tolerance.
Might be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I was about to say exactly that.
Like that particular pain you may have just gotten so used to that it's just, yeah, like you can tolerate pain there better than other places.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think of Catch Me If You Can?
It's a great movie.
I liked it too. I had never seen it before.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
Holy shit, Drew kind of liked it.
It's the 6th best movie we've watched.
Do you keep a ranking? Because I think that'd be great if you had like a little ranking.
I have a full list of, I think, all of them.
It's on that one spreadsheet that's shared with all of us too, of everything.
I'll go back and look. I have 47 listed on here.
Hey, that's probably close-ish. If not the actual number. But yeah, I did not realize this movie was like about like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
Like, just because all I had ever seen were like the previews, and I had seen the one scene, and now I can't remember what scene it was, but there's one. The scene where he is pretending to interview the airline guy at the kind of near the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen a clip of that once, like a few years ago, just that bit. And I just assumed like everything I knew about this movie was like the kid was like some sort of like grifter and con artist and all this. I assumed he was an adult, and like that's how he was like pulling off all this stuff. An adult with like a ton of confidence, and like in actuality, like it's neither. He's a teenager, and he's not really that confident. He's quick on his feet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he learned from his dad. You learn it right from the beginning of the movie that his dad was a grifter himself, or kind of a grifter. It's not like really made plain out, and I didn't do any reading on Frank Abagnale and his dad as to like whether or not his dad was like a good guy or not. But it seemed like he was as much of a grifter as Junior was, and so he learned from his dad how to be quick on your feet. He learned how to sweet talk people. And how it's in his mind kind of okay to do that.
Yeah. So I did actually read up a little bit after watching the movie last night. So the theme this time was biopics, and this is definitely loosely a biopic. So Frank Abagnale wrote the book Catch Me If You Can, supposedly about what he did in the 60s and 70s. Apparently, a lot of people have like debunked that any of that stuff ever happened. He was definitely some sort of like con artist. Also got arrested a whole bunch. Like it was not just that one arrest at the end. He got arrested several times for like various things. There's also he never worked as a lawyer in Louisiana. There's no record of him ever passing the bar exam. And like a handful of other things. So like he probably did similar things, but embellished it a whole bunch.
Yeah, I mean. In any biopic, you're going to get embellishments.
But I mean, like, the movie didn't embellish. He embellished it in the book that he wrote as an autobiography of himself. Mm-hmm. And then, like, kind of use that notoriety to basically start a business where, like, they tell you at the end of the movie, like, he's, like, one of the leading, like, people in, like, fraud detection or something like that, and, like, helps banks determine, like, the most secure ways to, like, not get defrauded.
He gets millions every month just from the checks he makes for Fortune 500 companies and things like that. Yeah.
which like it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
One thing that I did read is because like he was not involved with the making of the movie, but he did cameo at the end. He's one of the French police officers.
Okay.
But like over the years, he has like commented on things, and one thing he said is he's happy with how they portrayed his dad. But that after he ran away, he actually never saw or spoke to his dad again. So those scenes where like he was writing letters and like went back to see him like 2 or 3 times, those never happened.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's I guess I don't know. I mean, they probably put that in because it was put into the book. But I guess maybe he tried to make himself look better by writing that into the book. Like,
well, no, so that actually wasn't in the book. That was a thing that Spielberg pushed for as a way to make like it was really to drive the story of a kid who wanted to both fix his family and impress his father.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of it was. Like right up to the very end, like you don't realize that like until he says it at one point. It's only been like a year and a half from the time he ran away as a 10th grader to the point where like he's trying to get married to fucking Amy Adams in Louisiana and become a lawyer.
Yeah.
So like he's very much like you know, we're gonna fix this. Like you and mom are gonna get back together. Yada yada yada.
Yeah. I mean, it was a year and a half between his parents splitting up and his mom marrying somebody else. Like that's a fast turnaround. It was, but yeah, it's pretty wild how much he did as a child and how much trouble and chaos he caused as just a child, a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, because you figure even taking away all of the embellishments, like he definitely did some like he was not cashing checks for millions of dollars, but like he still like frauded checks in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, and that's I feel like that's when you were reading up on him, did it say how much money he actually defrauded the government for?
So I forget the sum for like the 1970s, but with inflation it was about $11,000. So it was only like a few grand, but still like a 16, 17, 18-year-old like making fake checks and getting them cashed for, you know, a few $1,000s in the 70s, like that money would go a decent way.
I looked up stuff about Frank Abagnale, like how much did he steal? And the first thing is a 2023 New York Post saying that he lied about everything. And it's probably him coming out and saying that he lied about stuff.
In the wiki, it says federal court records show he was convicted of forging 10 checks totaling less than $1,500.
And I think that with inflation, it got up to like 11,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that math would check out.
I think it was actually on the wiki that I had read that, because like a lot of the stuff you can fact check, like, you know,
it's public record.
So the whole making checks and working for the FBI thing at the end, also not true.
Yeah, but he did create some sort of consulting firm.
Yeah,
which I mean, like, good for him for basically like bamboozling people into like paying him as a consultant for stuff he probably never did.
Mm-hmm.
There was there was like a quote from him that at some point he apparently like he claims that he went to a bank, and this was the start of his like legitimate career. Went to a bank with like a fraud check, got them to cash it, and then went back to the bank and said, "Hey, this is what I just did to you guys. I can come in and show you how not to have this done to you. You don't have to pay me. You just have to spread my name to like the other banks." Which, you know, that is kind of brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fun movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought Tom Hanks was actually really good in it.
I love Tom Hanks.
He was really good. I think the one thing I disliked about the movie was his bad Boston accent.
Oh, his accent was so bad, but I think that's why I liked him, because it was such a bad accent.
It's one of those like it turns around on itself. It's so bad it's good kind of situations in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's also I feel like the more I think about like time period cops, he fit that so well. With that accent, with how he talked, and with how he acted, like there's 100% what I think of a 60s, 70s time period cop would sound and act like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like something about the way he talked, even with the bad accent, just had like that feel.
Yeah, but yeah, I had fun. It was one thing that like I always laugh at are when movies make you watch the credits before the movie starts. And I was watching this, and it's like, oh, this is like all Star Wars because it's like it's Spielberg, it's John Williams, it's like okay, this is just they're just friends making movies at this point. I was like, it's good score, good music, just good everything. I always enjoy watching this.
Yeah, so you have seen it before.
I'd seen most of it before, like bits and bobs here and there. I don't think I actually ever sat down and watched it all, but I've seen from points to the end or like whatnot. Like I've seen like the beginning of it here and there, and maybe stopped watching it at one point or another. Like I have seen it, basically seen it all the way through at least one other time prior to this.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why I never saw this before because like it came out at a point where like I watched a lot of movies. But it was that and what's the other kind of like biopic that he did? The Aviator.
Mm-hmm.
Like for whatever reason, I never saw that or this. I mean, now I've seen this one at least.
I've seen The Aviator. I don't really remember it much, but I have seen The Aviator as well.
I actually get the two like not confused, but like they kind of blur together a little bit for me.
I mean, they both deal with a dude pretending to be a pilot, so it makes sense. Well, I mean, the Aviator isn't pretending to be a pilot, but you know what I'm saying. Deals with planes in both aspects, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. So does Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Also a biopic.
But it doesn't have Leo DiCaprio in it.
That's fair. Are you gonna pick a Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
No, probably not.
What a bum.
Look, we just watched 2 Leo DiCaprio movies. If we wanted to do...
We watched like 4 Nicolas Cage movies.
But that was a Nicolas Cage theme, and it was only 3.
I thought we did 4 for some reason. I thought we did 1 and then we did the theme. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
I just watched extra Nick Cage movies. That's entirely possible.
That's entirely possible. And
yeah, you know what?
Because wrong with that.
I definitely watched National Treasure and Mandy fairly close together, and I don't think either of them were book club books.
No.
Or movies.
No, they weren't.
But anything else either you want to say about Catch Me If You Can?
No.
No.
Oh, I have a question about it. How do you guys think he managed to like unscrew the fucking bolts on that toilet to climb through the toilet?
Plot armor.
You know, that, yeah, I mean...
Look, it's a Boeing, maybe. So they're probably already loose to begin with.
You know what? That's fair.
That's morbid but fair, right?
But yeah, fun movie. I don't know whose pick it would be next.
I think technically Drew's.
Drew, do you have a pick you want to watch?
Skip me this go round, and I'll think about it for the next one.
Okay, Rich, do you have a biopic you want to watch?
Sure. Let me just double check and make sure it's available.
The Aviator.
No. Let's see. What's it? Is it on? It's only on Apple, or is it on other stuff?
What
I
movie?
wanted to do Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's actually so. I've seen that. It's not a good movie.
I mean, but it's also only on Apple, and I don't think neither of you guys have Apple.
I actually do have Apple. I don't think Drew does though. But it's also. I wonder if it's actually on Apple or if it's one of those weird like you have to pay for a separate subscription inside of Apple to get to it.
I don't know. So I did have one, and you know what? Here's a different one that we can do then. Maybe. Let's do
Christopher Robin.
No, that's not a biopic. I'm torn because do I want to go new or do I want to go old or do I want to go really old?
Heads or tails?
Well, there's 3 options though.
Well, we're not going to do really old.
I mean, by really old, I'm talking 2001. It's 2001, 2001, 2014, and brand new.
2014.
All right, Theory of Everything. It's the Stephen Hawking movie.
Okay.
I
don't know that I've heard anything about that.
It stars Eddie Redmayne. It is on Netflix.
Eddie Redmayne, Felicity Jones, Charlie Cox, like from Daredevil? Yeah, hey, Daredevil's in this. It's an MCU movie, guys.
Yeah.
And also Spider-Man, because Felicity Jones was in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or the second one. She was in one of them. Or Star Wars. She was also in Star Wars.
Yeah. The other 2 options were A Beautiful Mind or Oppenheimer.
I do. At some point, I want to watch Oppenheimer. But that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a 3 hour and like 10-minute movie, I think.
Yeah.
The
It's
Theory
a long
of
one.
Everything. This sounds more familiar now that I'm looking at the cover for it, but I don't remember anything about this when it came out.
I remember it being. I remember there were like 2 Stephen Hawking movies that came out the same year or some shit like that.
No, was it 2 Stephen Hawking movies, or wasn't it also there was the Stephen Hawking movie and then the Alan Turing movie?
So there's a movie that came out in 2013 called Hawking.
Oh, okay. I fucking have no memory of that.
But that's a documentary though, so that probably wasn't it.
I mean, there's also those 2 Steve Jobs movies that came out like back to back.
There was the 2 Steve Jobs movies. Guys, we can do a Steve Jobs movie.
I do wonder if you're thinking of the Alan Turing movie, because that also was from 2014.
I don't know. Maybe. Because that had like a science-y name to it as well, right?
It's The Imitation Game.
No, it's not that. Because that's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Wait, I thought who was in? Oh no, it was Fassbender. I got the names confused. Fassbender was in the Steve Jobs movie, and then Ashton Kutcher, I think, was the other one.
Yeah.
Are they both called Steve Jobs?
I think one is just Jobs.
Yeah, one is called Jobs. Yeah.
No, so one, at least according to Just Watch, which has the poster. One is Steve Jobs. That's the Fassbender one, and the other one is Steve Jobs, the Man in the Machine, and that. Oh no, that's a totally different movie that came out the same year. What the fuck? Why are there so many Steve Jobs movies?
The Ashton Kutcher one is just called Jobs.
Okay.
Unless it's...
And that was 2 years... Yeah, that was 2 years earlier.
We could also do a movie about Cobb's favorite author.
Oh, you want to watch the Tolkien movie with Nicholas Hoult and I forget who the actress is?
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
No, because that means it has like fucking ads and shit.
Oh, I've never looked at Tubi.
Didn't we watch something on Tubi once?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think the Daft Punk thing was gonna we could have watched it on Tubi, but we ended up being able to get it on Amazon or something like that on Prime Video.
Yeah, it was that weird music subscription thing that Prime Video had, like the trial for it.
Yeah.
I am blown away that there were 3 fucking Steve Jobs movies that all released within 2 years of each other. 2 of them in the same fucking year.
The Man in the Machine, man. The Man in the Machine. Yeah. Let's do a Theory of Everything, the movie about Stephen Hawking.
All right. And Drew, what do you want to talk about first? Balatro or Hades?
I'll do Hades first because I've only played a couple of minutes of it, honestly.
Really?
Well, I played enough to be like, okay, yep, it's more Hades. And actually, also, I was like, man, did I not truly finish Hades 1? Because they are talking about some shit that seems like things I didn't see, even in having cleared that game 20-something times.
So I've actually played a few hours of it. Apparently I've played more than you, which is fucking weird. I figured you would have come on here with like 20 hours or something.
No, I wound up playing a lot more Hades 1 after doing like 2 runs of Hades 2 and being like, fuck, I have to have missed something in Hades 1. So I went back and I've played a bunch of Hades 1 again.
I could be wrong, but I get the impression that you're not supposed to know what happened between the 2 games. Like, I think there's supposed to be like this big blank period.
It's totally possible.
That's just the impression I'm getting because they're dancing around so much stuff and not just saying it.
I've now just, in the last couple runs I did in Hades 1, maxed out the relationship meter with every character. So I have to be very close to the actual ending if I haven't actually already seen the actual ending, which I might have. And just, you can play that game infinitely.
Yeah, that is true. So what do you think of 2 so far, though?
I mean, the little bit I played of it, I like. I did not play enough to really dive into figuring out any of the systems going on in it, but it sure plays well and looks nice.
I've got like 4 hours in, and I'm still not really sure how some of the systems work. So there's that. I just got the ability to unlock new weapons. So I got my first new weapon. I haven't actually done a run with it yet, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's neat though. I like the new like hub world, I guess you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you made it to the first boss at all?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't want to say just in case you haven't. So here's a question, just because I don't remember, like, I never finished Hades 1.
Uh-huh.
But, like, were there, like, random bosses, like, not bosses is probably the wrong word, but, like, were there random challenges that, like, other gods and things would, like, just randomly throw at you occasionally?
Not really.
Okay, so that is new to, I thought it was
Okay.
new to this one. I've had a couple of instances where, like, I had a god actually, like, help me in one room, which was cool. Not that
Okay.
I didn't need help in the room, but, like, you hear, like, the voice, and then all of a sudden, like, as you're attacking, a god starts, like, doing attacks too, and I got the impression that if I were to stay in the path of it, I would probably take damage, but they're never
Okay.
targeting me. Like, they're always targeting the enemies, which was cool.
So yeah, that's a little different. Like in the first one, there will sometimes be the rooms that have the two god symbols on it, and there will be the two orbs, and you pick one, and then the other one gets mad at you, and
Right.
will have their like magical attacks just kind of rain down on you until you clear the room.
Right, I do remember that. But then I had another one where it was unfortunately the first room after beating the first boss, and I haven't been able to beat them again since.
Of course.
Where like another, I don't think she was a god. It was like another like Greek mythical character showed up and was basically like, I'm gonna fuck with you, and gave me a blessing that then made the next room incredibly hard.
Huh.
And I just got fucking wrecked. And I thought it was just one of, like, I didn't realize that's what was happening. And it happened, and then I get back to like the home base, and I forget who I talked to, but I talked to somebody there, and they're just like, yeah, such and such is a real pain in the ass. You need to just fucking roll with it, and she'll get bored eventually. I'm like, well, that sucks. Like, what sort of shit is that? Just have to get destroyed until this character gets bored. It's fun though.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any, like, in the couple of runs you did you get any cool of like boons from the gods or anything?
Nothing that I truly remember.
That's fair. I've gotten the same ones a couple times, so like I remember a couple of them. The freeze ones are seem to be the best. Freeze and Aphrodite, because hers seem to do healing stuff. So I've managed. So like I've gotten like a couple things that will like heal me like after defeating an enemy. That's how I beat the boss, because the boss like spawns things. So like I've managed to like kind of like hold out after getting hit a few times till that phase comes up, kill things to kind of get my health back, and like just squeak out a victory.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, first boss is a little challenging. I feel like it's more challenging than the first boss in the first game.
I mean, the first few times you fight Meg in the first game is hard.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. I had a bad time with her until like I had unlocked some of the other weapons and found like the weapon that really worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that initial spear is actually really good, but like I imagine I'm going to find a weapon that just works better.
Yeah.
Which this one also apparently like you get to fish eventually.
Oh, there's fishing in the first one.
Oh, I don't think I ever fished in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at like what you can unlock, and there's like a pickaxe, a fishing rod, and something else, maybe like a shovel or something for like because I know you can garden.
Okay.
Like that big pot thing in the main area lets you like concoct things, and one of the things you can concoct is dirt to plant things in.
All right.
Yeah, because I guess because you're in the underworld, like the dirt's not good for growing, so you need to magic it together. But yeah, I'll be interested once you put like once you just go running past how much time I've put into it, kind of like what you think about the mechanics and all.
Yeah,
especially just you've had so much time in the first game.
Mm-hmm. I'll be diving into it soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I heard on a couple of different podcasts like people talking about it, and even on like some Discords. Apparently, like the content, like the game's almost done. Like as far as like content wise, like not done because I'm sure they're going to add a ton to it, but people aren't finding like a point where it's like, oh, there's nothing left to do. Like there just keeps being more things for them to do.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so apparently like they waited until they had a good chunk of game ready to throw it up on early access.
Yeah, I think when I had like looked into when it came out, I swear somewhere in the thing it said you will run into a time where you've clearly hit what we're done with, but so that's why I only did like the couple runs, and I was like, do I want to burn myself out on it if there's not that much in there? But it seems like there's a lot more than I was thinking originally.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least 2 like areas, like
Okay.
because I definitely like I beat the first boss and got into like the next section. So yeah, but what do you think about Balatro then?
Yeah, I fucking can't stop playing this game.
Fucking right.
I got it on the Switch because I was like, hey, I can just play it while I'm slow at work or whatever. And goddamn, this game is something.
It's a perfect handheld game.
Oh, 100%. Where can I see how many clears I have? I guess not.
Oh, have you actually cleared it?
Oh god, yeah, dude.
How many hours do you have into it? Jesus.
Oh, so many. Well, all right. I haven't. I have cleared the 8 antes you need to like win the run. I've not completed any of the if you keep going.
Okay. I can't get past 7. Like I get up to 7 and then just like I get a bad hand. I get like just something is against me in that one. I get like a bad boss draw and get that like really shitty like all the cards you've used before are voided.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes on that you just gotta fucking because it doesn't make your hand not work. You just don't get the bonuses. So sometimes you just gotta eat it and be like, all right, fine, I'll play this flush still. It'll only be the base amount of the flush, but whatever, it's points.
Yeah, and like I usually do, but without all the bonuses and stuff that you get from like your jokers and whatnot, because they generally don't apply if the cards don't count.
Correct.
I don't hit the cap you need to move on to the next one.
All right, so I've cleared once with the red deck, 3 times with the blue, once with the yellow, once with the green, once with the black, once with the nebula deck, twice with the checkered deck, and that's it. And I just unlocked the painted deck earlier today.
Nice.
If you can unlock the checkered deck, that deck is kind of broken because it's 26 spades and 26 hearts. There's no diamonds, no clubs.
Oh,
so
wow.
You get fuckloads of flushes.
Like every hand, basically.
Yeah,
it has a good chance of it.
It does then suck if you get a boss that spades are all invalid or hearts are all invalid or whatever. I forget the term that it uses, but yeah, it sucks if you run into one of those boss blinds, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I forget which deck I want to say I've been using like blue or yellow mostly. One of them has an ability that was super useful for me because of the way that I was playing.
I like the blue with the +1 hand every round. Like that extra.
Do you remember what yellow does?
It's $10 extra at the start.
I was using the blue one then, yeah, for that extra hand.
The green, I think green is the first one I cleared with because that's $2 per hand at the end and 1 per discard, so you get a lot of money.
Oh, nice. So then you can buy more packs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So one thing I've yet to figure out, maybe you have because you cleared it. Uh-huh. So, and I haven't played in a little while either. So when you like between rounds, you get into the store, you get to buy stuff. And generally you have like your jokers you can buy that go into the joker row and they do all sorts of cool effects.
Yep.
You get like those tarot card sort of ones that you can use on demand. And then there's the ones where it's either add a card to your deck or use immediately. What the fuck point is there of using some of these cards immediately?
Well, I mean, like what some of the ones that you're going to be using immediately are like the tarot cards, the planets, and then you probably haven't even seen the spectral deck yet.
I don't think so, no. But I just remember there being cards like to purchase, like the booster packs, basically, where like you'll get given like 3 options. And it's like, hey, we're gonna do this thing immediately between rounds. I'm like, but this is not benefiting me between rounds.
Well, so
unless I was reading them wrong,
you were probably reading it wrong. So like those decks will or the booster packs there will be jokers. Are the God, all right, hold on, let me go to the decks because I can't. So there's the Arcana packs, which are tarot cards,
right?
And they will do whatever the tarot card does. It'll deal you a hand. So if the tarot card is like make 2 boosted cards, you would then pick 2 of the cards that got dealt out, and it would then permanently make those boosted cards and add 30 chips when they get played, or whatever the power is. Then there's the Buffoon decks, which are the Jokers. The Celestial Packs, which are the planets, which level up your hand
Right.
points. And then there's the standard decks, which just literally add cards into your deck.
Which I end up buying those a lot. Like if I have the option, I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather add a card to my deck that, it's a 10 that gives me a plus 10 or something like that.
Right.
Because then it's like, cool, like, that's good to have extra cards or like wild cards. This card is any suit.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the Arcana packs can make cards you already have in your deck into some of those things.
Yeah, which I have gotten those before too, like the make your whole hand, or not even your whole hand, it's like make 3 cards in your hand, hearts. And yeah, you can use that to kind of like make a flush if you've got nothing else going on.
Right.
Yeah, I've actually I've cleared rounds a few times that way where like I just couldn't get a good pool of cards no matter what I did. And I'm just like, cool, well, these cards are now going to be a flush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game is hard to not like. The rounds go so quickly. Like, I mean, I assume like even 8 rounds, what is it? Maybe like 15, 20 minutes to get through all 8?
Something like that.
Yeah, like you can do a full run in like so short of time that even if you fuck up in the first 2, it's like, oh, it's only gonna take a few minutes to try again.
Exactly. And it's been very fun to like wind up starting to see some of these Jokers and then thinking about building out the run with whatever set of cards. And then, man, I had one, there's a vampire that takes away the enhancement on a card, but it adds to its multiplier for every enhancement it takes. And then there's a card that every time you play a face card, it gives it gold. It makes it a gold card. And you can pair those 2 up to keep putting gold on the face cards and then stealing it off immediately and just making that multiplier on the vampire card go way up. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's...
The thing I'll say, the key to beating like 7 and 8 and higher is you need to get the multiplier cards and not just the plus multipliers.
You mean like the actual like times?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what I try to go for.
Okay.
Like there's one that I ended up having it pull a lot. That's like it increases the multiplication multiplier every time you don't use your most common hand.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
So I use that and I just try very hard to like use as many different hands as I possibly can to like not get stuck in a rut with one. And I try to go into it knowing that my most common hand is maybe like a pair or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get away in those early rounds like throwing pairs and still getting through them.
Yeah.
So I'll try and like load my like most common hand as that, and then like hope for the best. And like usually like I think I've gotten that thing up to like 5 or 6 times.
Nice. Yeah. Like I did a run earlier that all of the Jokers I had were just multipliers. So it was like I was getting ×4, ×1.5, ×1.5, ×3, ×1.5, and cleared a run with those Jokers.
Yeah, like that. I definitely had a couple where I would have like, especially after you buy some of the deck adding cards that have like multipliers built into them.
Mm-hmm.
Where like I would get one of those thrown down, and then I have a card that multiplies based on like bonuses that exist. So you get like 0.01 multiplier for every bonus or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you'd get enough of those, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, like this hand was suddenly worth 2,000 points, and I only needed 800 to clear it.
Yeah. What was my high hand so far? My best hand so far is 510,000.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Holy
but
shit.
After you clear the 8th ante, so get the actual clear, if you go into the continuous mode, the next one, like the boss on the 8 ante is 100,000. The next one's like 510, and then the one after that is like 7 million. So I don't think I've ever gotten past the 7 million.
So like the game does kind of like stack you into a position where you have to start getting better multiplier cards to even come close to
100%.
Yeah, because like those first 8, like it's all reasonable like jumps in amounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or at least the first like 7. Like from what I've seen, do you remember? Do you know what 8 is Did you say that?
I think it's 100,000 for the boss.
Okay.
I forget where the heck you find it. Maybe that was only in. I swear there was somewhere just in the main menu that you could see what the boss blind is for each level, but apparently not.
Yeah, I'm probably going to now go play that after we're done. Because it has been a while. Like, it was one of those, like, I'm not going to play this because as soon as I start playing it again, I'm not going to want to stop.
Yep.
Rich, when are you going to get into Balatro?
I have zero interest. I'm sorry. Sorry,
oh
not
man,
sorry.
it's so fucking good, dude.
I have zero interest.
I forget. Do you like roguelikes?
I don't hate them.
Okay.
Like,
No, and that wasn't a you should like this one. I was just trying to remember if you liked them or if
It's-
they weren't your thing.
I have zero interest in playing a poker-based roguelike. I have just absolutely no interest in it. I'm currently in the middle of playing a roguelite that I did not realize was a roguelite until I started making a YouTube series about it, and now don't really know how to make a YouTube series about it.
Oh, the fucking driving thing, right?
Pacific Drive is a roguelite.
Yeah.
And I did not know that going into it. I thought it was a survival game, which it is, but it's a survival roguelite. And like it makes it hard because the runs are not short. A quick
I remember
run,
you saying that.
yeah, a quick run is about an hour and a half long. So like, and I like you don't really get a lot done in a quick run. It's just going and getting supplies to go back and rebuild your car, fix things up, or whatever. So I'm probably not doing that as a YouTube series anymore and just switching that to a stream game because it's just going to be a lot easier to do that as a stream game than a YouTube series. It's a great game.
I remember you saying that last week that you're just like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, it's a great game. I absolutely love it. It's not. I went into it expecting a survival game, and not a roguelite. And I went into it basically expecting Subnautica but car, and not a roguelite with not Subnautica but roguelite and car.
Which, sucks.
Yeah.
But like at least you like the game and you want to play it other ways to play it.
I like the game and I want to keep going on with the story. I can't appropriately make good content with the game if it's going to take me 2 to 3 to 4 hours just to be able to progress to a point where I'll get story and not really be able to fill those 3 hours with reasonably good content.
Yeah,
and it's also doing it as a let's play and just streamlining through the story means I'm missing out on a bunch of shit. Like data packs and upgrading my base and stuff like that. Like the last play session I just did, I finished the play session by building a basketball net in my base. And basketball hoop and a basketball. So it's like now I get to play basketball whenever I play this game. So won't be able to like screw around with that as a let's play. So it's probably moving to a
I mean, you could. It would just be a really boring let's play.
I mean, it wouldn't be. It'd be silly. But like, yeah, Drew, you check out Pacific Drive. I know you like the roguelites. Check out Pacific Drive. It's got a really cool story, really cool roguelite mechanics. And you like cars. And it's also the car you drive around in, Drew. This is really close to home for you. The car you drive around in that game is a station wagon.
Oh shit! All right, hold on.
Yeah, I think Drew's about to buy it.
Not only is it a station wagon, but you can get decals to have it have a wood paneling station wagon.
What kind of bonus does it give me?
There's no bonus. You can't get no war written on the side windows, unfortunately. But
this isn't sounding like a roguelike. If I'm not getting bonuses for putting shit on my car.
Well, I mean that's all cosmetic. You get other bonuses. You get other stuff. You get to so it's survival and roguelike crap like combined together. So you go out into the world, you gather supplies and things like that. You gather the energy to then go back home, get the blueprints you need to upgrade your car so that like you can put for instance, I have the ability to put a lightning rod on my car so I don't have to worry about charging my battery. If it gets hit by lightning, it charges the battery. Or I have upgraded my trunk space. So before it was just a bunch of boxes that you would store everything in. I upgraded my trunk space to a trunk in the trunk. It's a literal trunk that is now in the car to hold more stuff.
Nice.
You can get side racks to put more storage. You can get increased gas, increased battery, better wheels. All of my paneling doors are all steel at this point, which is the second level. It's crude and then steel. And so you explore these regions, you find data packs. There is a bit of a story that gets told while you play it, and you go back, you get upgrades, you upgrade your base, you upgrade your car, and then you go back out and get more stuff. But playing it as a Let's Play and just rushing through things, you don't, for me, especially the completionist I am, you don't get to explore everything, because then I only have an hour and a half to record, and it's going to take me 3 hours to get through this, so I got to rush. And there's still features of the game I'm learning. Like when you get to a certain point, there's 3 different kinds of energies that you can get. It's stable, unstable, and corrupted energy, and you need each of those to actually upgrade, to buy the upgrades, buy the blueprints that you need to upgrade everything. To get unstable energy, you need to go into regions that have these bubbles on them and that are more volatile of a region. You also need to scan the random anomalies you come across to learn some more of the blueprints. And then once you grab all of the energy that you need to grab, you select your exit point and you start driving to that exit point. But then occasionally, or usually, I guess, especially if it's a very unstable region, the corrupted energy will show up as you're driving, and you have to make the decision of, can I get to the corrupted energy, grab it, put it in my car, get back in my car, turn around and leave before the zone closes out on me and kills me. I haven't seen what happens if the zone closes out on you yet, because you see your map and it slowly gets smaller and gets covered in yellow, and then once it's covered in yellow, it gets smaller and gets covered in red. I don't know what happens when you are covered fully in red. I don't know if you die, if you start taking slow damage. I've been afraid to figure that out. So it's because, like, if you die, you die. Then, like, I lose the run, essentially. And the point of that instance is you're trying to get to the teleporter to get back to your hub. And so it's like the region is becoming increasingly more unstable and breaking apart. So you need to hurry up and get to the teleport to get back to your hub. I very much enjoy the game. I want to play it more. So that's the other reason why I'm like, I think I might just move this to a stream game and start playing something else as my Wednesday Let's Play. Also, I'm not getting many views on it on YouTube, so rather enjoy it on a live stream.
Which, like, that's fair. Like, if it's not doing you a lot of traction, like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put it someplace where you might get a little bit more.
Yeah, but yeah, it's if Drew, I know you like roguelites, check it out. I think you might enjoy it.
I'll look into it.
It came out this year. Watch my Let's Plays. There's fifth one comes out this week. Sixth one comes out next week. The sixth is going to be the last one. And it's roughly about anywhere between, I think it's like probably 4.5 to 5 hours of content. I think some of them are a little bit longer. I think one might be an hour long or 50 something minutes long.
That's too long for a YouTube video.
Nope, it's not.
You're killing your algorithm.
It's not too long for a YouTube video. I've seen longer videos.
No, I'm sure.
But like that one, and that's that episode, that 50-minute long episode is like the reason when I started thinking like, yeah, I kind of maybe got to change this up, because what happened is I was at a point of the game where it's like, all right, just go do a run. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go just do a quick run over here, and you go in, you do the run. And I don't do anything during the run. I get a little bit of story, but everything else is, there's nothing new comes from the run, no new data or anything like that. So I get back to the base and it's like, all right, well now go do this run and get back to this point and do more stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, I kind of got to do that for this episode then, since we already have like the story bit. So I go do that run, which ends up making me be out for like 4 different regions. And that whole run in those 4 different regions took almost 2 hours. And I'm like, all that episode ends up just straight up becoming here's story bit, here's story bit, here's story bit, here's story bit. And I'm like, man, I don't get to just like sit around and drive with you guys. Also, I don't get to listen to the music because I don't know if it's licensed or not, and I don't want it to be demonetized over on YouTube. Even though I'm not monetized on YouTube.
Oh, that's true.
Even though I'm not monetized on YouTube, I don't want it to push the demonetization or like copyright over on YouTube. But if I have it while on a live stream, I don't mind that. So like even if I'm live streaming on YouTube and it'll cut it out, so like I'll be able to listen to music. But it's easier to not have the music while editing, because if I'm cutting bits and pieces, you'll hear like 2 seconds of the song while something's happening, and then it'll cut to halfway through the song. That's like I can't listen to the music if I'm going to be cutting this apart.
Oh no, because you still want the game audio, right? You just don't want the music. Never mind. I was about to say, like, isn't there a way that you could just have the gameplay audio go to you? But I'm like, well, no, because then you lose all the actual like.
Oh no, it's
in-game audio outside of the music.
It's like there's an actual radio that you can turn on in the car that listens to me, that has music playing on the radio. But yeah, it's a great game. Great game. I love it.
Well, Drew, is there anything else about Balatro you want to talk about?
Well, one thing I don't know if you realized, because it took me a little while to realize, you could rearrange the Jokers.
No, I didn't know that. Does that actually do anything? Oh, because the Jokers play in the order that they're laid out. So
yes. So
shit.
When it comes to the multipliers, you want them after anything that's just plussing the multiplier, unless like there's a Joker called the Swashbuckler that it gets plus to multiplier based on the cell value of everything to its left. So you want it to be all the way up the right, but you'd rather have plus 10 to the multiplier times 2 than times 2 plus 10.
Yeah, which does make sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I did not know that.
You can also reorder the order of the cards when you play them, which also, when you have like a glass card in there that's the times 2 multiplier, you might want that to be the last card that's played.
Oh, so they don't have to go in like numerical order the way that they're laid out in your hand.
No. So like, yeah, you could play a straight and it could go 3, 4, or because they start by default being the highest to the left. It could go King, Queen, Jack, 10, Ace, if the Ace is a glass card and it's the time 2 multiplier, or even if it's like the whatever is the 1.5 times multiplier. You could rearrange that in your hand before you hit the button to play it, and then
that's actually
that
pretty
at
cool.
the end. And yeah, because everything goes in order of what it's played from left to right.
Right.
And same with all the Jokers.
Oh yeah, that'll change things for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, like legit. It took. I'm pretty sure I cleared runs before I even realized that was a thing you could do. I was like,
jeez.
Because it wasn't until I got one of the times multiplier ones, and I was like, wait, hold on, can I change the order? Oh, god damn it! This whole time I could have been changing the order of these Jokers. So yeah, there you go. Big tip: order your cards around before you play them, and reorder your Jokers.
Yeah, min-max it basically.
Yeah, I mean, like legit. The way I got that 500,000 hand is like having things very specifically played in an order to get the multiplier to go crazy.
Right. Huh. Yeah, I will probably try that tonight or tomorrow, depending on if I play tonight or tomorrow.
So
cool.
But yeah,
anything else?
Dope. Nope. It's good. Good game. Play it. It's cheap.
It's a good way to kill time for sure. Like it is the perfect like handheld, like sitting on the couch, not doing anything, like doing like at work waiting for stuff, like traveling.
I'm pretty sure they're working on a mobile version.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like that game would play totally fine on a phone or a tablet. It'd be a little small on a phone, but like it would work like without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's a good, just simple time waster.
That definitely has a little bit of depth because like you have to think about the hand sometimes. Like
it's that low barrier to entry, but incredibly high skill ceiling.
Yeah, like do I discard these cards and hope that I get a straight? Or do I play the 3 of a kind and get the easy points?
Oh, actually, here, other tip. You can, if you're playing like a 3 of a kind, but you have 2 other cards in your hand that you are just like, these aren't helpful right now, you could also play them.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Okay.
So I don't think you get points for them, though, do you?
No. Unless there's a Joker that will make it so every card you play gets counted, but sometimes you're out of discards, but you
you just want to you just want to get rid of them.
yeah, it's like, okay, well, I'm 4 cards to flush over here. I have this pair and then 2 bullshit cards that aren't helping me with anything. I can't discard anything. I've got 2 hands left to play. I'll play this pair and throw away the other 2 cards, and that way have 4 chances at getting the card for the flush instead of just 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd only ever done it a couple times, like kind of by mistake, like not realizing that like what I was putting up didn't work the way I thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
Like thinking I had like a flush, but realizing like, oh shit, that was a spade, not a club, or something stupid like that. Just like not paying attention to what I was doing.
There's also a boss that you have to always play 5 cards.
I think I had that come up once.
That one sucks when I forget that that's the boss I'm fighting, and I'm going, just real quick go, here's 2 pair, nope, didn't count. I'm like, god damn it, just wasted a hand.
Yeah, and it sucks because like it does just like cancel the hand. Like it's not like oh nope, sorry, you can't play that. Like try again. It's just nope. There's a turn wasted.
Yep.
Man, yeah, that's a fun game.
Yep.
Cool. Well, the last thing we have then is last week I went and I saw the long in development Gundam Seed Freedom movie, which was certainly a movie, I guess. So like Gundam Seed is not a favorite of mine. It's got a lot of problems. It's got cool mobile suits though. Like the suits in that one are actually pretty cool.
Okay.
It gets a little goofy by the end because at a certain point, just fucking everyone has a Gundam. Like every Gundam that was destroyed throughout the course of both series somehow shows up by the end of the second series. Like it's been rebuilt and recolored, and everybody gets a Gundam. Even people that have never piloted a mobile suit before are suddenly piloting a Gundam for some reason.
You get a Gundam. You get a Gundam. Everybody gets a Gundam.
It's basically that. And so this one picks up. I want to say it's at least a year after the end of Seed Destiny, and it's basically your main character Kira from the series. Is the head of it's essentially like an independent peacekeeping force that they have two ships that they kind of travel around space and Earth in with like 2 teams with pilots in Gundams and some other mobile suits. 2 of the pilots are 2 of the kind of like pseudo antagonists from Destiny, Shin and Luna. Who like Shin was kind of the one that like in Destiny he became like the early protagonist of that one before it transitioned back to Kira, and he hated Kira because he blamed the Gundams for his family dying in like the war like a couple years prior. But at the end of Destiny, Kira's like, hey, we should just fight together to like stop war instead of each other. So like they're fighting together now, and things are still a mess, and much like you'd expect, a new villain comes out and goes and tries to take over the giant mass weapon from Seed Destiny. That it's basically a giant cannon built into the moon that there is like an array around the Earth that it can use to bounce the beam off of to hit any place on Earth. And just completely obliterate it. So, that's bad, and they have to stop it. And, of course, their Gundams have to get destroyed so that they can get, like, fancy new Gundams. It's very formulaic in what it does, but it was kind of cool just, like, the bombasticness of some of the fights at the end. Like, just every single person that, again, like, just like in the other ones, everybody that has ever been a character in this thing fucking shows up at the end. Most of them in a mobile suit, just for one reason or another. And the one thing that didn't work very well though is they would occasionally do flashbacks. And Gundam Seed is a 20-year-old show. It does not look good when you put it up on screen with a thing that was just animated in the last 2 years. Like it looks fucking rough, and it took them 18 years to make this movie.
Damn.
Yeah. They have released, what was it? 00 Unicorn, some other random shit, Iron-Blooded Orphans. They've released at least like 5 or 6 Gundam series, plus like some other movies in the time this one has been in development. And it's just like, damn, like y'all had some trouble figuring this one out, didn't you? But yeah, they kind of added a new layer to. So the thing with Seed was it was humans versus coordinators, and coordinators were basically just bioengineered humans. They were in utero. They had like different things done to them to make them smarter or stronger or like more inclined to be musically gifted or like any number of things, like by the choice of the parent. And it's a couple generations later at this point, and so you like the world is split. Like most of the coordinators live in space, most Earth people live on Earth, like most regular humans live on Earth still, and they're just constantly in conflict. And this one kind of adds like a third layer into it of like the next generation of coordinators who somehow have the ability to like psychically fuck with other coordinators, which was really fucking weird. But ended up adding to the actual story and made it so like a lot of times, especially in Gundam Seed, like your main character would just get into like a bad fight with like their like rival, and then the suit would get destroyed, and then they'd be all sad and whiny for a while, and you'd be like, well, this didn't need to happen. There was no reason for this fight to happen this way. And in this one, they at least had it where like, oh yeah, the suit gets destroyed because people that can literally like mind control other people were involved. Like they actually fucked with their minds, so they didn't know that they were fighting people. I thought that worked better than the generic like, oh, your rival beat you and your suit got destroyed. It did go back to the protagonist being a whiny bitch. Like he literally spends like 10 minutes in one scene like crying, while his best friend actually beats him up for being a little like whiny bitch. Like Kira's just the fucking worst, and he's literally like moping and like crying and stuff like that. And Atherin just punches him in the face. Like, and the sound effects were very good on that. Like it sounded like somebody got punched in the face. And like Kira gets up and like it continues to cry, and he just gets punched in the face again and again. And then he tries to fight back, but he just gets punched in the face again until like he finally like snaps out of it. He's like, oh yeah, I guess we do have to go fight, don't we? It's just, man, fucking Gundam. I wish they would just make a fucking Turn a Gundam movie. I'd much rather see that. But I went and saw this instead. And this like again, the giant robots were cool. When they just let the giant robots fight each other, that's always kind of cool. But yeah, that was Gundam Seed Freedom. 20 years in the making.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I didn't hate it. Like I know like the story was dumb, but like Gundam Seed's story is dumb. And so the story's not dumb. It's actually got a very interesting like narrative idea, but like the characters are dumb, like in the worst ways. So it's like you can't take any of them seriously. But you know, it's still there. And yeah, that's that.
Nice. Did you guys see that Dead by Daylight announced their new villain they're going to be putting into the game?
No.
Sure, you may be interested in this one. Is Vecna from Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know who that is.
He's a demigod.
Isn't that the name of the thing from Stranger Things?
No, well, yes, but yeah, the main villain from the last season of Stranger Things, they called him Vecna, but like this is Dungeons and Dragons Vecna. This isn't Stranger Things Vecna. They had a Stranger Things crossover that you can't get anymore because of licensing. But it's they're incorporating Vecna, and they're adding a Dungeons and Dragons based playable survivor as well.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks is he's got both hands and both eyes, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't have.
Why does that suck?
Because Vecna, there are two magic items in the world of D&D: the Hand of Vecna and the Eye of Vecna, and they are legit pieces of him. And so it's like if he has them all, he's all powerful and unstoppable, basically. And I feel like he shouldn't have them both. He should be missing a hand and he should be missing an eye. Maybe like make it gameplay mechanic to where like if the players can find the hand and eye before he can, he can't become as powerful or something like that. Because like they do play with some of these mechanics with some of these characters. Like they have friggin' the girl from the Ringu, and she can like teleport through TVs and stuff.
That, you know what, that would That would certainly be interesting.
Yeah, it's but I might actually buy Vecna and do some more. I am planning on doing some Dead by Daylight streams for spooky nights for the next few months. But I think he comes out in June, so I think I'll buy him and do some villain runs. It'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And actually, this has nothing to do. I'm not going to get into it. But Drew, I started reading Where Are Your Boys Tonight?
Oh, nice. What do you think?
Oh, it's really good. Like, it is just fascinating to read. I'm only like 150, 200 pages in. I'm in part 2, where they were just talking about the feud between Taking Back Sunday and Bright Eyes, brand new. Yeah. So like right in kind of that area where they're really it was mostly them talking about Taking Back Sunday and kind of like how they got started. But like, it's fascinating, all like the weird crossover between stuff, like, and like just how much like North Jersey was like like the epicenter of a lot of that stuff in like the early 2000s. Like, so many bands that I still listen to kind of like came out of that area.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, and even like the MyChem stuff, seeing like all the stuff about like Midtown and how Gabe was just kind of involved with every band in that scene, or the weird like Pete Wentz stuff about like him just bouncing between bands and shit. Yeah, fascinating book.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I look forward to getting deeper into it, because I think it goes to like 2008, right?
Sounds about right.
So I'm curious to see kind of like what other stuff it hits on, because it's definitely getting to that point where like that stuff, like emo and pop punk and stuff, were kind of all over the place by like 03, 04.
But
yeah, I think that is probably it for this week.
I mean, have you guys seen anything about Marvel Rivals? Have you like checked?
I have no idea what that is.
It's a Marvel Overwatch, basically.
Didn't know that was a thing.
It's in alpha testing. I've been watching a buddy of mine play. He's addicted to it, basically. But like it's in a lot of like alpha tests. I think the official game is supposed to come out later this year. But it's Marvel but Overwatch. It's Overwatch but Marvel characters. I find it incredibly boring, because I find watching Overwatch incredibly boring, because I don't know what the hell's going on in that game.
It's hard. Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you guys heard about it or not.
I forgot it was a thing that was happening until it got brought up in your Discord there. I was like, oh, right. That's a thing that exists.
It's the alpha is closed, but you're allowed to post things about it, and you're allowed to like make videos and stream it and whatnot. But as a closed alpha, you can't get into it unless maybe somebody there might be people who have codes to get into it. One of the funny things about it, and I think they've like either reworded their terms or they've clarified their terms. But at one point, part of their terms, especially for content creators, was you can't use disparaging words about the games, the features, events, and products within the game. Basically, if you're going to talk about the game, you can't talk bad about it.
Yeah, fuck that.
I mean, yeah, that's a real shitty like NDA sort of thing.
But it's like they have come out and said like, no, that's not what we intended when it came to like the wording of that, and I think they've reworded that. But there was there was like a few days where somebody in the Discord was like, it was asking the guy who's been playing it like, how you feel about such and such character, and I was like, well, if the character he is not allowed to talk about the character unless he likes the character, so he probably doesn't like the character. and then he responded, he was like, I don't use melee characters, so I don't really know. But yeah, I should look it up real quick to just read out how it was worded. Let's see. Does IGN have their wording for it? Sincerely apologize for the confusion. So yeah, they've taken back what they said. But I had seen originally like.
Well, that's very convenient of them.
Where's it at? Here we go. Non-disparagement. The content creators agree to not make any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. This includes, but is not limited to, making disparaging or satirical comments about the game-related material, such as game features, characters, or music, engaging in malicious comparisons with competitors or belittling the gameplay, or differences of Marvel Rivals, or providing subjective negative reviews of the game. So it's you cannot talk bad about this game comparing it to other games. You cannot say personally you think the game is bad. You need to be, or no, subjectively the game is bad, but you can be objective, I guess. I don't know. And you cannot talk bad about any of the the characters, features, music in the game. And like, so basically saying you can't talk bad about this game. And they posted, "Hi, players and creators. We are aware that there are inappropriate and misleading terms in the commitment regarding sharing non-disparagement content. We sincerely apology for the miscommunication and unpleasant experiences. Our stand is absolutely open for both suggestion and criticism to improve our game. We are now working to revise the miscommunication terms." So like they're revising it. So you're allowed to speak openly about it. But it was funny because they're like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to talk bad about our game. Talk about it, but just don't talk bad about it. Don't say game's bad." Even though like generally people who are playing the game are genuinely enjoying it and having a good time and saying that is a good game. But
Are
also,
they though? Are they really though?
that was my point. I was saying this to a buddy of mine. He was like, "I'm hearing nothing but good things about it." I'm like, "Are you hearing nothing but good things about it, or are you only hearing good things about it? Like, is it because you are only allowed to hear good things about it right now?" But no, like genuinely, like anyone I've watched play this game who both experienced and inexperienced in Overwatch are saying this game is fantastic and are putting tons and tons of hours into this game.
Which, I mean, if people are enjoying it.
Yeah. It's I might give it a shot if it's free to play when it comes out officially, but like I said, I don't find Overwatch enjoyable. I've played it a little bit. I've watched people play it, and I'm just like, I don't really care. It's not my cup of tea.
I liked Overwatch, like hearing, like it was never a game that I wanted to play a lot of. It was like one of those like, oh, like playing like 2 or 3 rounds of this was like fun, but I never got I need to play hundreds of hours of it.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I've been getting that competitive edge feeling lately, so I've been wanting to play something competitive. So I thought about what's that?
Apex May?
Apex? No. No. I don't really know if I want to replay Apex. I don't know. Like maybe eventually. It was funny. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine this weekend, and we were going through our Steam list. Apparently, Apex is my second most played game on Steam, only by about 10 hours.
Well, you played every day for a month last year, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I played every day for a month, and I used to play a lot on downtime outside of stream and things like that as well. But like that was only like the thing is every day for a month that was average. I would say average 12 hours a week, give or take. 3 streams, 3 hours per stream, or 4 streams, 3 hours per stream, 12 hours a week. So it's 48 hours in total. But like it's in like the 300s, I think it was 300 hours or so, and it just beats Monster Hunter Rise by about like 10 hours or something like that. And then my number one most played game is pretty obvious. It's 7 Days to Die.
That one does make sense, yeah.
Monster Hunter Rise is 246.9 hours. Apex is like 250 hours or something like that. Where's Apex at? Apex Legends 253 hours, so it's not even 5-hour difference. And then 7 Days to Die we're at 284 hours. So it's not like it beat it. It's not like because of that 1 month of Apex Legends that got it to up there, because that's only 48 hours. It's not really that much compared to 200 plus hours.
Yeah, that's still a lot of time.
It is. But the funny thing is, the Monster Hunter Rise 200 hours is over the course of like 4 months.
Okay,
which is a little bit more ridiculous.
Yeah, that is. You're gonna end up surpassing with World because you're back in World now, right?
Probably not.
Right, because you have all the time in the PlayStation version of World.
Well, I mean, PlayStation World is 330 hours or something like that. But like it's I'm not waiting for content to be released for World. I'm not waiting on content to finish up. Everything is there. I am into Monster Hunter Iceborne at 40 hours, which is fast. Like I was at 150 hours before Iceborne came out when I originally played it. Like, I am streamlining through the game. It's possible that I might be close, but I'm not dedicating as much time to it. I'm only playing it once a week, maybe twice, depending on how I'm feeling. And if I'm not going to be doing, say, Pacific Drive anymore, then that's going to be my Monday game instead of Mega Man Zero.
Yeah, but you gotta finish Mega Man Zero.
We'll see.
Mega Man Mondays. Come on.
I'm gonna play it when I feel like it. At this point, I didn't feel like playing it this week, so I didn't play it. I'll try it again next week, and if I still don't like it, then I'm not gonna care to go on to the other three because I just don't care. It's such a poor design for Mega Man 1 to be very uninteresting to continue to play if it requires that much grinding.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, from what you were saying last week, yeah.
Like, I thought about pulling up a guide and just going through whatever the guide says to do in the order, but, like, I still feel like I'm not going to succeed the way the guide would want me to succeed. So it's like, at one point or another, it feels like, oh, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't disagree. But at the same time, Mega Man Mondays.
We'll figure it out. We'll go back to that eventually, but maybe we'll just change it back to Metroidvania Mondays.
There you go. I don't know if I forget the name of the game, but there's a new Metroidvania that just came out that people were raving about.
Is it Zao?
No.
The what is it?
I'll look when we get off. It came out last week.
It might be Zao. Tales of Kinzera Zao. That thing came out last week. That came out recently.
No, like this game literally came out last week. People were like all about it.
So Kinzera came out. Zao came out on the 23rd of April. But I'm in their Discord because they did a spot on the owner of the company that developed it did a spot on Critical Role, and like they were doing a free giveaway and stuff.
Animal Well.
What's that?
Animal Well is the name of the game.
Animal Well?
Yeah. I've heard like multiple people on like Twitter and podcasts like talk about how much fun they're having with it.
I don't like the art.
Of course you don't.
I don't.
This is the first time I've actually looked at what it looks like. People were talking very, very positively about it.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard good about it. It's probably more of a darker game, and so like it has a darker feel to it, and I don't. For a side scroller, something that's very similar to like a Metroidvania, like it needs to look decent as well. It needs to look good, in my opinion, for me to be interested in it. And it doesn't really look all that good. I don't really like I guess it's 8-bit. It's not really 8-bit. I don't know what you would call that.
It's definitely
like,
that style, though. It is like more of an 8-bit like aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't like how that looks. Like I don't know what the main character looks like, but like I'm losing them in these images, in these just still shots on Steam, and it's just like I don't know. Maybe if it's ever on a decent sale. We might start playing Tribes of Midgar again on Steam because I bought that game 2 years ago and only played 6 hours of it.
Sounds about right.
And
that's how Steam works. You buy a bunch of games on there, you don't play any of them, and then you just play the same old game over and over again.
Yeah, well, you really need multiple people to play that game properly, and I didn't have anybody else to play it, and now I may have people to play it with, so we might start doing that instead of I kind of want to fade away from what's it called? Helldivers 2, because they still haven't reactivated purchases over on the 170 countries and territories that have not that lost it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and so it's kind of I know I'm not going to get my discount, but it's kind of a like boycott-ish type thing. Like, hey, this is kind of I'm not down with this, and they're most likely going to just try to reenact another PlayStation network linking again, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, I do not blame you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that will probably do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, in 2 weeks, we're going to watch a movie that I already forgot the name of.
Theory of Everything.
Thank you. There we go. Theory of Everything in 2 weeks. Oh, that's right. I put it on this here document. Other than that, though, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also support us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I am in the process of getting us set up on YouTube for podcasts. What a fucking just process that is. Literally, Google got rid of like the Google podcast. It's now all through YouTube.
Mhm.
You have to you add the RSS feed, and then it is literally uploading every single episode off the RSS feed to individual YouTube videos that will just be audio only, which is cool because that means I don't have to do that anymore. But it's going to take at least a week because it looks like it can only do about 100 episodes a day before I guess like it like times out and it just goes, nah, never mind. So like sometime next week, all of our past episodes will be back on like a Google owned platform.
All of our episodes are on YouTube Music.
I couldn't find it on there.
As podcast is added via RSS feed, and I've been following it for forever. Did you add it to YouTube Music as an RSS feed? No, it came over via I guess YouTube or Google Podcasts. Like all of my podcasts went over to YouTube Music.
So I think that it just pulled it over from the RSS feed that was there. Our feed does not exist on YouTube Music. I've looked for it. It's just not there.
Strange.
Yeah, it's really stupid how they did that. But I don't understand why they didn't just pull in the stuff that was on Google Podcasts into that.
Or just not shut down Google Podcasts.
Yeah, I mean that too. But regardless, everything will be there and searchable and usable through that. We're also on social media, facebook.com/OneQuestOnline or at @1_Quest on Instagram and Twitter. Sorry, drew a blank on that other fucking platform.
It's X. It's X. Come on now, Cobb.
It will always
X.
be Twitter.
It's X.
No,
It's
we will
X.
dead name that thing all we want. It's Twitter.
It will always be Twitter. Elon Musk does not control us.
Just like it's the Tweeter Center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I will also accept the Blockbuster Entertainment Center or the E Center. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, you can also email us, social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what does your streaming look like this week?
Twitch.tv/B_Walnuts. We're on video game streaming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Monster Hunter, Sea of Thieves, Helldivers, it's all the good stuff. The only thing I'm here to promote right now and push is June 9th and 10th. It's the second Saturday and Sunday in June. Because the first Saturday and Sunday is the first and second. Second Saturday and Sunday in June. It's the 8th and 9th, not 9th and 10th. I think I have my dates wrong on my sheet. Is my 3-year stream anniversary. Come hang out, make me get all of the moons in Super Mario Odyssey. And yep, I have my dates wrong on my image. Oops. Make me get all the moons on Super Mario Odyssey, and let's try to reach some stretch goals and things like that. If I get enough bit donations, maybe I'll do the 1-chip challenge. Maybe I'll do a quote hot tub stream. It's just going to be like an image of a hot tub in front of me, and I'll be shirtless while I'm playing the game. Or if we get enough, it's a lot of money because I don't want to shave my beard, but like 100,000 bits, maybe I'll do a cosplay where I cosplay as Andre the Giant from Princess Bride.
And shave your beard for that?
Yes.
Damn.
I'm not gonna do look. 100,000 is $1,000.
Okay, that's fair. Is that like a cumulative, or like one person has to give you $1,000?
Cumulative.
I don't know how that works.
Cumulative. It's
okay.
Going to be cumulative for the. So part of the event is that any of the bits and subs and things like that happen throughout the event add to how many moons I need to get. After the first 2 days, which I need to correct my image and repost it. After the first 2 days, anytime I play the game, if I still have more moons to get, any bits and things like that, add to that. But the goal totals, are only going to be for those 2 days. So if look, I have 400 followers. If 400 people do 1,000 bits each, that's 400,000 bits. That'll pay my medical bills. Like, I know I'm not going to get 400 people to come watch a stream over the course of 2 days, but I'm just saying, 1,000 bits is only like, it only costs $10 to get 1,000 bits. It's like $10 a piece. So it's actually $5, $7 for 1,000 bits, and I get like 10 bucks out of it or something like that. I don't know.
And you would shave your beard.
For 100,000 of those, I would shave the front part of my beard and get big mutton chops so I can be Andre the Giant for Halloween from Princess Bride.
I would donate towards that. Not $1,000, but I would donate towards it. And if enough other people donate towards it, it'll be $1,000.
There you go.
That's how donations work.
There you go. But I'm still trying to figure out like short-term and long-term goals for that and things like that. I've got 2 weeks, but still trying to figure all that out. Did I really? No, 8th. It is the 8th and 9th.
Yes,
it is the 8th and 9th. I put the 9th and 10th, didn't I?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I gotta fix that. Why did I put the 9th and 10th?
You're bad at dates.
Because my anniversary is the 9th.
Ah, okay, that makes a little more sense then. But I think with that, that'll do it. We'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.
Bye.